Good morning. Thanks for stopping by my channel. It still has the hologram on the back, so this is an official from, probably from Graceland, right? But anyway, thanks for stopping by my channel. Tony's LPS U.S. We are back with a fun segment. We're not going to talk about the price of records. I'm not going to talk about pressings. I'm not going to talk about A/B. I'm not going to talk about why are they remastering the Doors again, or whatever. We're talking about the Beatles, and we're gonna never get tired of the Beatles. We're still talking about the Beatles, 2024, right? So this segment is about the Beatles, and on November 22nd of 2024, the U.S. album Mono box set is coming out, and that is the first 8 LPs that the Beatles released in the U.S., North America. As you know, the Beatles U.S. North America albums were slightly different, or not slightly different, sometimes drastically different from the counterpart of the UK Beatles catalog. And we all know that that Clash, the last box set that came out, the stereo and mono box set. There's a miniature of this, the mono box set. We also have the albums. I was lucky enough to get the albums, studio recordings from the Beatles, the UK pressings, and that sold out. That was a wonderful album. I have the stereo as well. The stereo had a lot of problems. I ended up sending a lot. I bought them from Music Direct. I was constantly sending records back that were defective. But the mono box set, they cleared all that up. I'm also wearing shades today because in the 60s, especially Lennon and George, they were wearing shades all the time, especially when they were filming the movie Help, the one in color. And so it's a little tribute today to them wearing my shades, but I'm going to take them off now. Tribute over. We miss you, John. We miss you, George. But this is about my imagination of what will come after this box set is released. Now, this box set is selling quite a bit. I checked Amazon, and I believe in the last week it indicated that 200 box sets were sold. And it may not seem like a lot, but they're box sets and they're expensive, and not too many people, even will buy box sets. So wait for the individual records, or they're buying the individual records. But I suspect this is going to be a massive hit. Probably bring the Beatles back up on the Billboard charts again. But this is my imagination. Okay, when Volume 1 is out, what about the rest of the Beatles U.S. North American releases? Now, the American releases, as you know, were drastically different in most cases from the UK releases. EMI to Capitol. Capitol decided to add tracks, mix up tracks, and I'm going to go over a couple of the differences on the Beatles box set that I imagine will come out soon after this box set is released. I suspect that we're going to get a Volume 2. So I'm just going to show you what that Volume 2 is going to look like. And I also have a bonus in that Volume 2 if you wait until the end. I always say that wait until the end. I don't know why they do that. They want you to watch the video, right? So, but you can scan ahead if you want. But I'm just going to show you my original U.S. North American, and these are U.S. They're not Canadian, but my U.S. Beatles mono that I think will be in the next box set, Volume 2 of the U.S. North American Beatles releases from Capitol. So here we go, right? And we're going to flip these over because I have them lined up. This one here, what is this? Beatles 6. If you know your Roman numerals, a great cover. This is a fabrication. This was not a UK release at all. So you see that. Here's the original inner. I'm going to show you each album because, this is what this is about, right? There's the back. Now, up until Sgt. Pepper, the releases were different on the Beatles U.S. records versus the UK records. The covers on a couple were the same, but up until Sgt. Pepper, they were different albums. So here we have that. And like I said, I will go over a few of the differences on 2 of the records. And I'll also show you what I think the bonus record should be in the next Volume 2 set. That's just my imagination, my opinion. This is just a fun segment. Here's an original inner. And here we have a beautiful rainbow capital. Very nice. So this is the Beatles Roman numeral 6. Next up, we have the record I talked about earlier. I almost dropped these. The record I talked about earlier, Help, gatefold. Completely different from the UK version of Help. Here you have beautiful, no sunglasses here though, but they do wear sunglasses. Here we have the beautiful gatefold. These are the ones I'm showing you are mono. I do have some stereo editions of these early American pressings, of course. That's an inner. That's an inner. And there you have a beautiful rainbow Help. I'm not going to get into where these were pressed. Some of them I have notes. I once went through Discogs, and I cataloged what pressings were more desirable, what pressings were better sounding, and things like that. But I don't have the time to even A/B listen anymore. It's just there's too much new stuff coming out. But here we have Help U.S. And here it's cool. There's a little catalog there, as you can see. And it's funny. This is the almost the exact lineup of the Volume 1, except for Beatles 6. That's on the back here. Next up, which is different from the UK, same cover but different lineup, is Revolver. The record that changed the face of music, basically. This was a big influence on a lot of bands. You know the bands. You know, just about the Trogs, Lovin' Spoonful, Crosby, Stills and Nash. Everyone dug this. Everyone tried to imitate it, the vibe. Of course, they were influenced by Dylan. But this is different from the UK, which is the same cover, and I will go into that later. So I'm just going to show you, and this photography with the fisheye photography, that actually became a trend. You could go through probably, you know, I'm not saying hundreds, but you could go through a lot of records that came out in this era, 65, 66, that after this record have the fisheye. I know the Monkees did it on one of their records. Here we have an original inner. And here we have a beautiful Rubber Soul U.S. Rubber Soul. Hope everyone's doing well. Thanks for all the subscriptions. If you haven't subscribed, really appreciate that. If you can, tell your friends. I basically just show off a lot of my collection. I sometimes do reviews and things and announcements that I find interesting, and I hope that you find them interesting. Next up is this one, the Beatles Yesterday and Today. And this is the Beatles Yesterday and Today after the original Beatles Yesterday and Today was banned, U.S. first, and then subsequent copies all over the world. But this was the one that was banned, was a U.S. version only. And the Beatles Yesterday and Today. And here is the rear of the jacket. This still has shrink. This has a price on it at a used record store a while ago, right? VG Plus, $29.99. Wow, a lot of money. And here's the inner, which we all know and love. Capital 66, sounds great. And here's the vinyl. So, hope everyone's doing well. November 22nd, we're going to get Volume 1. This is my interpretation of what Volume 2 will look like. I don't have a box, but if it comes with a book, which I think the Volume 1 may have like a a little liner note sheet that comes in. I don't believe there's a book, but if we get a book, right, it'll look something like this with the album and then some notes and, you know, things of that sort. So, but I don't have a box yet. I don't have volume 1 yet, or else I could anticipate what the slipcase will look like. So next up, we have the last one that was different from the UK, and that's this one, Revolver. Now, in this one, I did take notes. This is my little note sheet that I made up. I Xeroxed it, and I put notes down when I cleaned it, when I bought it, how much I bought. What's the dead wax look like? And this one has U.S. pressing. This is a East Coast Stratton, PA pressing. Has the I Am triangle inside dead wax and number 3 on the cover. This is an excellent copy. Great soundstage, clean. Capital label. Some noise. Try cleaning again. My only mono copy of this, it says here. I think I've picked up another one since then, and of course I have the mono in the box, the Beatles box set. But that's my little notes. So here's the label. There's the iconic cover, which was the same as the UK cover, although the actual lineup was missing. And here we have the Beatles wearing shades. A great cover by their friend, bass player. And here you have the record. Klaus Vormann went on to play with Ringo, played on John's records, probably played on George's records. I don't think he ever played on Paul's records because bass player, right? But there you have it, the great artist. Won a Grammy for cover art. So that's what the box set should look like. You know, maybe there'll be a book, but I think I have a bonus that should come with it. Should come with a bonus. This is never in mono, but it's US only. Later on, the UK picked it up, but the Hey Jude record, which were singles and B-sides and things like that. Hey Jude, that's Apple. This was only on Apple. So that should be a bonus in the box set because, you know, people would love to have a remaster of this. I did a whole video on a remaster of this. That's there. I'll show you the back again. This still has shrink on it, which you can see the shrink's torn there. The last session that the Beatles took, I believe this was John's house. Right there. And I'm hoping if they do a box set, volume 2, which I'm sure they're going to do, it's inevitable. I think a bonus in there should be this. The Butcher cover. Everyone's Holy Grail. It's my Holy Grail. This is a reissue. My brother-in-law, Big John, got this for me at a convention we went to, a record convention. I wasn't going to buy it. He actually surprised me with it. Here's the back, yesterday and today, with ads, the ad back. But if you're going to do a volume 2 box set, why not include this one in it? This would be great for the collector. Maybe even have a peel off where you have yesterday and today, but you could actually peel it off, put it back, similar to the iconic Banana on the Velvet Underground record. That's another, probably worth just as much as a Beatles, Butcher cover album. So let me see. I think this might be colored vinyl. Yeah, colored vinyl. Really nice. The rainbow capital there, but it's a colored vinyl. Really nice recording. There's the back. And I also printed out the letter. I don't know if anybody's ever seen this. The letter that came with, after the records were recalled, this letter came out to the record stores, and it came out from the manager of press information, and it basically said, We want to recall the copies of Butcher Cover, which we now call Butcher Cover, and we will subsequently send you a new cover. And what they do is they pasted the cover on, as you know, and they're all over the place, mostly in California, because I think that's where those were pressed. There's a lot, I hear there's a lot in California. Mike from the in-group says that he sees quite a bit come into his store. He's pretty lucky there. So here's the letter. This is, you can get this letter online. It's titled Capitol Records Distributed Corporation, June 14, 1966. I'll just read an excerpt here. The original cover, created in England, was intended as pop art satire. However, in sampling the public opinion in the United States, indicates that the cover design is subject to misinterpretation. Sounds like today's politics, right? For this reason, and to avoid any possible controversy or undeserved harm to the Beatles' image or reputation, Capitol has chosen to withdraw the LP and substitute a more generally acceptable design. And we all know what that acceptable design was. It was kind of like a weird one with a trunk and really no imagination, because the Beatles had nothing to do with it. So that's my bonus right there. I think that would be really cool. And what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to show you these two UK versions and let you see and hear what the different tracks were like, especially on Help. Pretty interesting. Let me just get this Help record out. Okay, here we have the American Help, North American Help. And the tracks are, here's the back. Completely different, right? Even the cover is different, right? See that? Not a gatefold. The American is the gatefold, as we showed earlier, okay? But we're going to go track by track. Side 1, Help. Track 2, The Night Before, on both. Track 3, You've Got to Hide Your Love Away, same. Track 4, I Need You, same. Track 5, there is no track 5 on the American. So we pick up side 2, which was Another Girl, and Another Girl is on side 1 of the UK Help, and it starts off side 2 on this. There's an instrumental, which is Another Girl, instrumental, and Ticket to Ride is a instrumental on side 1 of the UK. It's the actual song. Next track is You're Gonna Lose That Girl, instrumental. So on the American, right, the entire side 2 were instrumentals, music that was theme music, stuff that was done for the movie. But on side 2 of the UK version, we have Act Naturally, It's Only Love, You Like Me Too Much, Tell Me What You See, I've Just Seen a Face, Yesterday, and Dizzy Miss Lizzie, with no instrumentals. So this is the one that is iconic. And, you know, we didn't get this record here unless you bought it as an import. And that was a lot of money. So I didn't even know that there were two at that time, you know, when I was, you know, buying Beatle records when I was a young teenager. This came out when I was only 9 or so, or 7, 9 or 10, right? I didn't even know about this. Okay, so next I'm going to just show you, so there's drastic differences, right? Here we have the UK Revolver. Let me get my American Revolver. And here's my American Revolver. Backs are similar. Here's the UK inner. You see that, the UK inner. Backs are the same. Beatles wore sunglasses. Okay, but let's look at the tracks. Let me see here. Okay, this is not as drastic as Help, but there are differences here. Covers are basically the same. Just different font for mono and high fidelity and things like that. But here we have side 1 on the Revolver US Taxman, side 1 on the Revolver UK Taxman, next track on Revolver UK Eleanor Rigby on the American. Next track on the American is Love You Too. Next track 3 on the UK is I'm Only Sleeping. Next track on American is Here, There, and Everywhere. Next track on the UK is Love You Too. Then we have Here, There, and America. Here, There, and Everywhere. Then we have Yellow Submarine, and Yellow Submarine is on both. And She Said, She Said. Side 2 is Good Day Sunshine on both. Side 2, track 2, For No One on the American. Side 2, track 2, And Your Bird Can Sing on the UK. Track 3 on side 2, I Want to Tell You. Side 3 on the UK is For No One. Side 4 is on the American, Got to Get You Into My Life. Track 4 is Dr. Robert on the UK. Track 5 is I Want to Tell You. And on track 5 is Tomorrow Never Knows on the American. Track 6 on the UK is Got to Get You Into My Life. And track 7 is Tomorrow Never Knows. And I'm just going to hold these up. So these are drastic changes. And what Capitol did was they expanded the catalog by mixing and matching records. They had that privilege, and they had the authorization from EMI to do that. I don't think the Beatles were really involved, but the folklore is that's why they put together the Butcher cover album, because they were really tired of Capitol butchering their records. So I'm just going to put this up so you can actually see. I don't know if I explained it properly, but you can see that. So there you have it. Just my little fantasy of the Beatles U.S. North American releases, albums, different from the UK Volume 2. And I'm sure Volume 2 will be coming out right after Volume 1. So keep rocking. Really appreciate you watching. Please try to comment. Let me know what you think about this little, crazy little video. So take care. Hope everyone's doing well, and see you later. Bye.